Okay, everyone, one more question that I've gotten on your late term projects is about how to create the wall, this exterior wall right here that goes in between the low roof and the high roof, right? You can see right here, this person has put windows right there, which would work as well. I think that's technically what is there. But how do you get a wall, or how do you define clear story windows that go there? Okay. And actually the answer is fairly simple. So let me just show you. Let's see here. Oh, he put actual windows there. We're going to delete those out. Okay. Really the task is pretty simple, although how to get that wall in there is a little bit tricky. But essentially what you're going to do is you're going to go to the main level. Okay, so I have my main level here, and I'm going to actually go to my roof plan as well. I'm going to do a WT window tile, and I'm going to hide this roof for a second. So I'm going to go to temporary hide isolate, so hide element. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to hide element, and that does a temporary hide. You can see from that cyan right there. But essentially what that's doing is that's giving me access to, sort of viewing what's happening below there. I could also have changed my view to a wireframe view so that I could see what was happening below. Okay, so essentially I need to establish where that exterior wall kind of needs to happen. Okay, and I'm pretty sure it needs to happen right about here, right? That's where the low to high roof transition happens. So the way that I'm going to generate that wall is I'm going to figure out where it needs to go. I'm going to create a reference plane and mark that place. So reference plane here, or RP, and I'm just going to use my pick tool, and I'm going to mark that edge of that roof. Okay, I mark it there, and then of course over here in my floor plate I see it show up. Okay, so that really kind of tells me where that wall needs to happen. But I look at this a little bit more and I think it kind of makes sense to me that that wall sort of continues along this line of that exterior wall, right? You may not have picked up on that, but we kind of have a line of structure here that's happening. So I'm going to create that wall from here to here. And the way that I'm going to get it up high is I'm going to use a base offset. Okay, so I'm going to, on my main level floor plan, I'm going to click on the wall tool, and I'm going to pick, let's see what this wall type is. I'm going to click on it. Wall type 1. Okay, so wall type 1. There we go. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the wall definition. So I'm going to change it from, let's see, the base constraint looks good. The top constraint, I want that to go all the way up to the roof. Okay. Now I'm going to give a base offset of 8 feet. Enter. And you're thinking, 8 feet? Why 8 feet? Well, we want this to be open right here. So essentially what we're saying is start the wall at 8 feet, take it up above the roof, and that will create that high little wall up there. Essentially what they would do in real life is there would be a beam or something that goes across here that allows there to be openness below, and then the wall would be built above that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is with an 8-foot base offset, a main level constraint, and a top constraint of the roof, I'm just going to draw that wall, and I'm not going to be able to see it. I'm going to draw it from there all the way to here. Click. And I get a warning that says, you can't see any of that here. And I'm like, yeah, and that's okay. I can kind of see it happening here, though, on my roof plan. So escape. Okay, I can see that wall that I just created there, but I can't see it over here. So that's working, essentially. Okay. If I look at this building section that runs down through here and bisects it, click. You see that is the wall that I just generated right there. Okay. Looks pretty good to me, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to AL align that wall with that wall. Okay, that looks good. And I'm going to pop into 3D. And I see that wall You see how it, I think it needs to go out a little. No, that doesn't need to go out a little further. Let's just take a look at it. I'm going to temporarily hide and isolate my roof by clicking on it in 3D. Hide element, right? I'm using Revit to, oops, hide element. There we go. Okay, oh, I still can't kind of see what's happening, so I'm going to grab this roof. Hide element. There we go. So I can kind of see what's happening now, right? I can see that that lines up with that exterior wall and it goes to there. Looks good. Okay. This wall. Okay, everything looks good. So that wall actually looks like it's in the right place, right? It's continuing from this exterior wall all the way over to line up with that exterior wall and fill in that gap. And I'm going to come down here and reset my view. Although the one thing that is wrong with this, right click and change wall's orientation so the brick's on the outside, which is what we want, really, right? Okay. I think 8 foot. Okay, there we go. So what I want to do now is I want to attach it to the roof. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to choose attach top to base and click on the roof. And now it does what it needs to do there. Okay. Actually looks like it's kind of short of where it needs to be here. A little weirdness going on there. And I'm going to click on it again and choose attach top to base. Click on this roof. Oop, that didn't work the way I wanted it to. I'm going to choose, I'm actually going to just bring it up a little bit more. So maybe a 9 foot offset. There we go. That's probably more what we want. Okay. Sorry, I want to look here. It looks like the wall maybe needs another little piece of wall needs to come in right here, you see, and fill in that little gap. So it needs to come down and then turn. So you'll have to draw another piece of wall in right there. Okay. Butt into that window. And I think the same thing here. So that wall just needs to turn a little bit, essentially. Right. So I'm going to click on this. A little trick. If I want to create something and I want to create an identical copy of it using the same material and definition, I can click on the object, come up here and choose create similar. This is create similar. Okay. And what needs to happen is this little guy needs to kind of turn into that. Okay. Oh, I don't think I was able to draw a little piece of wall there. Oh, maybe I just can't see it. Let's look. Ah, there we go. Okay. So this actually needs to be defined from, let's see, from the main level with a 9 foot offset up to the roof. And we look there. And we're going to take this and attach top to base. And that goes down. Trim, TR, hopefully the trim will work. Grab that little guy. Oop, didn't quite get it working. Let's see here. I think I'm just gonna leave it the way it is and say it's good. But that's how you're gonna get your wall in there. And I would count that as looking pretty good, okay? And what that has done, again, I'm on my roof plan. I came down here and chose wireframe to be able to view through there, but now I want to change it back to shaded or whatever so that it's not see-through anymore. I'm going to turn my roof back on by resetting my temporary hide isolate. And we can look at our building section here. There's that wall, right? And it's not technically proper in terms of construction technique, obviously, because the wall kind of dead ends and the the roof plane here, but it does what it needs to. And so we would just choose detail components to hide and figure those things out, which we are not going to talk about today. But that's how you're going to get that, that wall in there. So get that wall in there for your late term project. Thanks, guys.